Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to Easy English Class. I'm Marco.
And I'm Erika.
Hello, everyone. Hobbies.
And interests English dialogue, Marco and Erika.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Easy English Class. I'm Marco, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Erika. How are you feeling today, Erika?
I'm fantastic, Marco. Thank you so much for asking. I'm always excited to teach English with you and help our amazing viewers learn. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks. I'm ready for another fun and educational episode. Before we dive into today's lesson, please remember to subscribe to Easy English Class and hit that notification bell so you never miss our videos.
Yes, absolutely. And if you find this episode helpful, please give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends who are learning English. Your support really means the world to us and helps us create more content for you.
It truly does make such a difference. So, Erica, today we have a really engaging topic that everyone can relate to. We're going to talk about hobbies and the things we like to do in our free time.
Oh, this is such a perfect topic for English learners. One of the most common questions people ask when they meet someone new is, "What do you like to do?" It's a fantastic way to start conversations and get to know people better.
Exactly right. And it's amazing how this simple question can lead to such interesting discussions. So, Erica, let me start by asking you, what are some things you really like to do in your spare time?
That's a wonderful question, Marco. Well, I absolutely love to paint watercolor pictures in my free time. When I say I like to paint, I'm using the structure I like to, plus the base form of the verb. It's one of the most natural ways to express our preferences in English.
Watercolor painting sounds so creative and relaxing. We can also express the same idea by saying, I like painting, with the ing form. Both I like to paint and I like painting are completely correct and mean exactly the same thing.
That's such an important point, Marco. English learners often worry about which form to use, but both are perfectly acceptable. What about you? What activities do you enjoy doing when you have free time?
I really love to hike in the mountains on weekends. There's something incredible about being in nature, breathing fresh air, and challenging myself physically. I find that hiking helps me clear my mind and feel more energetic for the week ahead.
Hiking sounds absolutely wonderful. I notice you used love instead of like there. That's a great example of how we can express different levels of enthusiasm in English. When we say, "I love to hike," it shows we have a very strong positive feeling about that activity.
Excellent observation. So we have like for things we enjoy and love for things we feel very passionate about. There's also another word we can use, enjoy. For example, I could say, I enjoy hiking in the mountains, which sounds a bit more formal and sophisticated.
Perfect explanation. When we use enjoy, we typically follow it with the ing form of the verb. So it would be I enjoy hiking, I enjoy painting, or I enjoy reading. It's a really useful word that makes you sound more fluent and natural.
That's such a helpful tip for our viewers. Now let's talk about some other common hobbies. Erica, do you like to read books? And if so, what kinds of books capture your interest?
Oh, I absolutely love reading. I'm particularly fond of mystery novels and historical fiction. There's something thrilling about trying to solve puzzles alongside the detective characters. I usually read for about an hour before bedtime because it helps me relax and unwind from the day.
Mystery novels sound fascinating. I'm more of a nonfiction person myself. I enjoy reading biographies of successful entrepreneurs and books about personal development. I find them incredibly motivating, and they give me new ideas for my own life and career.
That's so interesting how we have different reading preferences. This is a great example for our viewers. We can be specific about our interests by saying things like, I love mystery novels, or I enjoy biographies. Adding details makes our conversations much more engaging and personal.
Absolutely. Now, let's explore some other popular hobbies. What about music, Erica? Do you play any musical instruments or do you prefer listening to music?
I love listening to music, especially indie rock and folk music. However, I don't really like playing instruments myself because I find it quite challenging and I don't have much patience for practice. But I have tremendous respect for people who can play instruments beautifully.
That's completely understandable. Not everyone enjoys the same activities, and that's perfectly normal. I actually love playing the guitar in my free time. I've been learning for about 2 years now, and while I'm still a beginner, I find it incredibly rewarding when I master a new song.
That's amazing, Marco. Guitar is such a beautiful instrument. This brings up an important grammar point for our viewers. When we want to express that we don't like something, we simply add don't before like. So, I don't like playing instruments, or I don't enjoy practicing piano.
Excellent point. Let's give our viewers more examples. You could say, I don't like watching horror movies, or I don't enjoy waking up early on weekends. It's a simple but essential structure for expressing negative preferences.
Perfect examples. Now, what about sports and physical activities? I know you mentioned hiking earlier, but do you enjoy any other types of exercise or sports?
I really enjoy playing basketball with my friends on Sunday mornings. We have a regular group that meets at the local court, and it's not just about the exercise, it's also about socializing and having fun together. However, I don't really like watching sports on television because I prefer being active myself.
Basketball with friends sounds like such a great way to stay fit and maintain friendships. I'm not much of a team sports person, but I absolutely love doing yoga. I practice yoga 3 times a week because it helps me stay flexible and reduces my stress levels significantly.
Yoga is fantastic for both physical and mental health. This shows our viewers that there are so many different ways to stay active. Some people love team sports, others prefer individual activities like yoga, running, or swimming. The key is finding what works for you personally.
Exactly. Now let's talk about creative hobbies beyond painting. Marco, do you have any artistic interests or do you prefer more practical activities?
That's a great question. I actually love cooking and experimenting with new recipes. Last weekend, I tried making homemade Thai curry for the first time, and it turned out surprisingly delicious. I find cooking very therapeutic and creative. Plus, you get to eat the results.
Cooking is such a wonderful hobby because it's both creative and practical. I have to admit, I don't really enjoy cooking elaborate meals because I find it time consuming. Instead, I prefer simple, quick recipes. But I absolutely love baking cookies and cakes. There's something magical about the precision and science involved in baking.
Baking is definitely an art form. It requires so much more precision than regular cooking. This is another great example of how people can have different preferences, even within the same general category of activities.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about indoor versus outdoor activities. We've mentioned hiking and basketball, which are outdoor activities. What about things you like to do inside your home?
Great question. I really enjoy watching documentaries, especially ones about science and technology. I find them incredibly educational and entertaining at the same time. I also love playing board games with friends when the weather isn't good for outdoor activities.
Documentaries sound fascinating. I prefer watching comedy series because they help me laugh and forget about any stress from work. I also enjoy doing crossword puzzles and Sudoku. They keep my mind sharp and provide a nice mental challenge.
Those are excellent mental exercises. It's wonderful how different people find different ways to relax and challenge themselves. Some people love physical challenges, others prefer mental puzzles, and many enjoy a combination of both.
That's so true. Now, let's talk about social activities versus solo activities. Do you prefer spending your free time with other people, or do you enjoy solitary hobbies?
That's a really thoughtful question. I enjoy both, actually. Sometimes I love being social and doing things like having dinner parties or going to concerts with friends. But I also really value my alone time for activities like reading or practicing guitar where I can focus completely without distractions.
I completely understand that balance. I love spending time with my family and close friends, especially going for walks in the park or having coffee together. However, I also cherish my quiet time for painting and meditation. I think having both social and solo activities makes life much richer and more fulfilling.
Perfectly said. This balance is so important for our mental health and happiness. Now, let's talk about seasonal hobbies. Do you have different activities you enjoy depending on the time of year?
Oh, definitely. In the summer, I love going to outdoor concerts and having picnics in the park. The warm weather makes me want to be outside as much as possible. But in winter, I prefer cozy indoor activities like reading by the fireplace or watching movies with hot chocolate.
I love how seasons can influence our hobbies. In autumn, I really enjoy taking photography walks to capture the beautiful fall colors. Winter is perfect for learning new skills online since the days are shorter. Spring makes me want to start gardening and plant new flowers.
Photography and gardening sound like wonderful seasonal hobbies. This shows our viewers that our interests can change throughout the year, and that's completely natural and healthy.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about hobbies that can potentially become more than just pastimes. Erica, do you have any interests that you'd love to develop further, or maybe even turn into a side business?
What an interesting question. I would absolutely love to improve my watercolor skills enough to sell my paintings at local art fairs. Right now, it's just a relaxing hobby, but I dream of creating art that other people would want to display in their homes. I'm considering taking some advanced classes to develop my technique.
That sounds like an amazing goal. I would love to become good enough at guitar to perform at open mic nights in coffee shops. Music has always been a passion of mine, and sharing it with others would be incredibly fulfilling. Maybe someday I could even write my own songs.
Those are both such inspiring aspirations. This teaches our viewers that hobbies can evolve and grow with us. What starts as a simple interest can potentially become a significant part of our lives or even a career path.
Exactly. Now, let's give our viewers some practical advice. How can someone discover new hobbies if they feel like they don't have any particular interests yet?
That's such a helpful question for many people. I always suggest trying free or low cost activities first. Many communities offer free classes at libraries or community centers where you can try things like pottery, photography, or language exchange. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone and experiment with different activities.
Excellent advice. I also recommend thinking about what you enjoyed as a child. Sometimes our early interests can guide us toward adult hobbies. Additionally, pay attention to what you find yourself watching on YouTube or reading about online. Those natural curiosities often point toward potential hobbies.
That's so wise, Marco. And remember, it's perfectly okay if you try something and discover you don't enjoy it. The process of exploration is valuable in itself, and it helps you learn more about your preferences and personality.
Absolutely. There's no pressure to love every activity you try. The goal is simply to discover what brings you joy and fulfillment. Now, before we wrap up, let's review the key phrases we've learned today for talking about hobbies and interests.
Great idea. The most basic and useful phrase is I like to, followed by the base form of a verb. For example, I like to read, I like to swim, or I like to travel. This is probably the most common way to express preferences in everyday English.
Perfect. We can also use I like, followed by the ing form. I like reading, I like swimming, I like traveling. Both forms are correct and natural. For stronger feelings, we use I love to or I love with the same patterns.
And don't forget I enjoy, which is always followed by the ing form. So, I enjoy reading, I enjoy cooking, I enjoy learning new languages. This sounds slightly more sophisticated and is very common in both spoken and written English.
Excellent. For negative preferences, we simply add don't. I don't like watching scary movies. I don't enjoy doing laundry, or I don't love getting up early. It's straightforward and very useful for honest communication about your preferences.
And for future aspirations, we learned I would love to, which is perfect for talking about dreams and goals. I would love to learn French. I would love to visit Japan. Or I would love to write a book. This phrase is wonderful for sharing your ambitions.
Fantastic summary. These phrases will help our viewers express themselves much more naturally when talking about their interests and hobbies. Practice using them in real conversations this week.
Now we have a fun challenge for everyone watching. In the comments below, please tell us about 3 things you like to do and 1 thing you would love to try in the future. Use the phrases we learned today. We'd love to read about your hobbies and interests.
What an excellent assignment! We genuinely enjoy reading your comments and learning more about our wonderful community of English learners. Your participation makes these videos so much more interactive and meaningful.
This has been such an enjoyable conversation, Marco. I feel like I learned so much about your interests, and I hope our viewers feel more confident talking about their own hobbies now.
I completely agree, Erika. Thank you for such an engaging discussion. And thank you to everyone who watched today's episode of Easy English Class. Your dedication to learning English is truly inspiring.
Remember to subscribe to Easy English Class if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our new videos. We post new lessons every week to help you improve your English skills.
And please share this video with friends, family members, or classmates who are also learning English. The more people we can help on their English learning journey, the better. Your shares really make a difference in growing our community.
We'll see you next week for another exciting English lesson. Until then, keep practicing, keep exploring new hobbies, and most importantly, keep having fun with your English learning journey. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye for now, and remember, learning English should be enjoyable, just like pursuing your favorite hobbies. We can't wait to see you in our next episode. Have a wonderful week.